I think my favorite thing is to come up with business ideas. I just love strategizing, planning, thinking about all the dreams and goals and how it can scale. I just love that's the part of business that I like the most. I'm like a very inspirational guy, very like big vision, less tactical strategy, more like, hey, what are we doing? And then other people, okay, now go do it, right? So I think the hardest part for me is figuring out like what is it I'm gonna do? And that's been a theme that a lot of people have questions with. I've talked to many different creators on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. And yeah, it's like a big question, man. What do you want to do with your life? Like, what do you want to do to make money? How are you going to structure your business, right? And so the main question is like, how do you know which one to lock in on? And for me, I think the real answer is you don't. You don't know until years later if you made the right decision. So what I use to know what direction to go in, because I'm on my fifth business now, and few of them have done seven figures a year. So, and I'm not a big guru guy like all the people you see in Miami. I don't have a Lambo. I don't have, this is just from my humble experience, sharing that the way that I make those decisions is I simply follow the momentum. Meaning, what are people asking for? If you can offer five different things and people keep asking you for help with one thing, that's probably the direction you should go in. And I'll give you a great example. When about 10 years ago, like around 2015 or so, me and my ex-wife, we organized our house, right? So what we did was we literally I was a disorganized person my whole life. And we read Marie Kondo's book and went through and decluttered our entire house. And I had a lot of great results from that. Lost like 25 pounds, saved a bunch of money, just lived better. I was able to focus a lot more. I was running an online business at that time. And so everything changed. It was just a lot easier, right? And we started telling people about this, just sharing our experience. We weren't like, you know, oh, the gospel of Marie Kondo and you have to do this. No, we would just tell friends and family about our experience and everything. And people kept saying, I need that. I want to do that. I need help with this, right? And then one day we realized like, hey, we could start a business out of this. We could do this for a job, right? And so then we started thinking, okay, well, if everyone's asking for help with this, doesn't necessarily mean it's a good business model just because people, if you ask someone in tech too, they'll say just because the users are requesting this doesn't mean it's a good feature for us to develop, right? So we tested it out. We're like, all right, hey, let's just work with someone for free and organize their closet and see how it goes. How long does it take? What are the results? Did it work for them as well as it worked for us? How much can we charge for this kind of thing? So we just did it for free. And then they were extremely happy, right? Loved it. And then we put up a website. No real big expectations. We were like, all right, let's take it easy. We made some content, stuff like that for like 6 or 7 months, I think it was, until we got our first client. And then boom, made $8,000 on our first client. Someone hired us to unpack and organize their entire home, right? They were moving from one house to another in our city where we lived in Raleigh, North Carolina. And that was it. And we didn't even know about that service. So that service ended up being our number one service because there's a few different things you can do as a professional organizer. You can declutter, you can do organizing, you can focus on specific rooms, or you can like help people unpack their entire house, which are much bigger projects because instead of someone just doing like just their kitchen or just their master closet, they need help with the entire thing. So it's usually a lot more money, a much bigger project, like a full home transformation. And there's a lot of urgency because there's like a timeline when they have to do it because like this is the date they're moving versus if they just want to get decluttered and organized, like they've been living with the problem for 10 years. So like there's nothing really saying they have to do it right now. It's not the same as unpacking, right? So that ended up being a huge service for us, and probably like 70 or 80% of our clients ended up being that. And we ran that business for 8 years. And the reason I tell you that story is because we had no idea that service even existed. Like, we didn't sit down and say, like, hey, we're going to start an unpacking business. Like, we never had that idea. We just followed the momentum. So people were telling us, like, oh, we really want help with organizing. We want help with this. We want help with this. We tested it out to see if we could make some money for it. Like, first of all, for free, hey, can we get the same results with them as we got for us? Or even close to that? Because if we can, then okay, we know we could do this. And then, hey, let's get some paying clients and see how that goes. And then we just kept following it. And then we found like the bigger opportunities, the better money, the better clients, working with high net worth individuals. Before you knew it, we were working with venture capitalists, Major League Baseball team owners, business owners, a lot of executives, really high net worth individuals. We moved to Miami because it was a really strong market here. And we worked in like pretty much all the luxury condos along the water, all the nice gated communities, were, $30 million homes, stuff like that. We didn't have that planned out. That was not part of the plan. We just followed the momentum and we're like, okay, it started with a problem and then it just continued. And so that's the point. Like, you're not going to know if you made the right decision now until years later. But if you follow the momentum, then you're more likely to be correct later on. And during that process, you're going to learn a lot of things and find other business opportunities that maybe you like better or are more profitable. So, for example, I also learned all the skills I need to run a business, like marketing, sales, tech, web design, contracts, how to negotiate, working with clients, setting expectations, like all these other skills that you only learn and actually master by doing the work. And so now I'm in a position I can work with anybody on anything as it relates to business for the most part, because I've had so many different businesses. But it took me over a decade to learn these things. But now I'm in a great position because I could work on marketing, sales, starting a business, scaling a business, project management. Like, there's just so much time I've spent investing in these skills. And so when you follow the momentum, you're then able to support yourself, which is the most important thing, being able to actually pay the bills while you have the opportunity to learn these other skills and continue to level up. So that's what I would say. If you're trying to figure out what you want to do, or maybe you started a business and you're not sure about it, just ask yourself, like, does anybody want what you're offering? Do you have paying clients? Is it a grind? Are you like begging and pleading with people? Or when they talk to you and they finally understand what you do, are they like, yeah, I want that? Those are the indicators, right? Don't look at what other people are doing. The grass is not greener. The grass is only green for them because they're watering their pasture. They're taking care of things. That's the most important thing, is just do what you are really good at. And that's the other thing I would say is think about like what you personally are very good at. Because if you do that, then it's going to be easy for you and you're going to come through as an authority, and it's just going to be easy for you to get clients. I've got this neighborhood cat here. Hey buddy, he absolutely loves me. We hang out all the time. He's not my cat. He lives at this house here, but he loves to get carinho. If you don't speak Portuguese, then you don't know what that means, but it's basically like a lot of love and affection. He loves it. So that's what I got for you. I hope that helps you. Just start. Okay, buddy. Ciao, buddy. This cat won't let me leave. He doesn't want me to go.